Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, we're still inside. It's 41 degrees outside right now, and it'll be a high of 42. So yeah, we're not going anywhere. And even if it was better, I don't think I would go. Yeah, I think we're stuck inside going forward at this point. So, because I was stuck inside over a month and a half or longer because of the coughing, and the coughing is still there, it's just a little bit less now. I had gained some weight, as you know, and you know that I was always saying I was 260 plus, something like that. I think I gained like 8 pounds. Yeah, I was probably around 268, 269. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So, yeah, I'm down to 261 as of today. I figured I better check myself out again, see if the decreasing of the eating and the like had helped any. And yeah, I'm down to 261. So I'm back to where I was before all of this being stuck inside happened. I think the problem is once you're not moving around, you're so easy to just grab anything out of the refrigerator. Yeah, the weight goes up. So luckily it didn't stay. So yeah, I'm down to 261. So yeah, we'll keep going. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can get back down to the 250 ranges. It's still kind of high, but hey, compared to what it was, it's not too bad. Actually, I was higher than the 268, 269 ranges before in the past. Yeah. When I went on diets before, I would just say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, and I do it. Yeah, I drop it. And then you gain it back, and then you say, I'm going to go back on a diet, and I drop another 50 pounds. Yeah. So I tend to go up and down. If you look at some of the earlier Russ is Right videos, you'll see that, yeah, I definitely look thinner then. I mean, I'm still overweight, but I'm thinner than I am now, right? You can see it in your face and, yeah, all sorts of things. So anyway, good to know that at least I'm back down to where I was before all of this being stuck inside happened. So, yeah. Okay, so that's enough for that. Let's talk about bikes. Now, I was taking a look at some of the comments that people were making in the last couple of videos, and yeah, some of them, it's interesting. I think, I don't know who it was, but one person was saying that, if you wouldn't go like 24, 25 miles an hour down the trails, you wouldn't be wrecking it all up for the rest of us. Well, you guys know I don't do that, right? Yeah, I'll do 25 miles an hour if necessary, or even 28 miles an hour if necessary on the streets, but I don't do it on the trails. Yeah, you guys can make a comment there. Let them know that, yeah, Russ doesn't go that fast on the trails. The trails I've always mentioned are typically set for around 15 miles per hour. On occasion, I will break that and I'll hit around 18 because it's sometimes kind of hard to regulate 15 or 18. I mean, if you purposely go 12 miles an hour, then maybe you'll go up to 15, right? That's just a little too slow for me. So, especially on an e-bike, it's kind of hard to keep it that low. So, yeah, I don't do 25 miles an hour on trails. Yeah, and especially gravel trails. Now, I don't even do gravel trails, as you know. I will always usually ride paved bike paths or streets. That's all I do. And the paved bike paths I know are typically 15, and I will probably hover between 15 and 18 most of the time. So, on occasion, you'll pass it a little bit, I mean, if you look through the videos and just try to find, did Russ go faster than 20? Yeah, you'll probably find it. On occasion, you'll find some things that'll be a little bit faster. And sometimes it's when I'm testing a bike, all right? So it's not like it's always done. But I do keep in mind that the trails are 15. I try my best to stay around 15 to 18 in that range, all right? Okay, now you could always blame other people who drive on the street. When the street says 30 miles an hour, how many of those guys are driving 35 or 40? All right, so even though we have speed limits, a lot of times people break the speed limit. Sometimes it's accidental. I mean, even in a car, it's kind of hard to stay at 30 miles an hour, unless you're really looking at that speedometer and keeping your foot off the accelerator. It's kind of hard to keep it at 30 miles an hour even. Yeah, I mean, some of the streets 25 miles an hour, come on. Some of these guys are doing 40, all right? So really, if you criticize me, you got to criticize yourself too. Unless you never do that, I don't know people who never accidentally break the speed limit a little bit. Even when you pass police officers on the street, sometimes you can see them with their radar gun. And I know when it goes off because I have a radar detector in my car, right? But you'll be doing 35 on a 30 mile an hour zone. They'll let you go. yeah, most often they will. It's not worth their time to go after 5 miles an hour, okay? Try doing 8 or 10 miles an hour, and yeah, he's coming after you. All right, so anyways, just wanted to point that out, that I do not purposely do 25 miles an hour on a trail or a bike path. I don't do that, all right? So anyway, that's that. All right. Other things that I noticed too, people were commenting. Recently, we talked about the American Disability Act issue with, if you prohibit, trying to get that word out, if you prohibit bike riders from using a throttle while on the path, I think they are in violation of the ADA. Yeah. Because really, if you think about it, there are people who have to use the throttle in order for them to be even on the bike. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to pedal that entire trail. They can't do it. I know I can't do it. So if you stop a guy with the throttle, you're basically saying, if you got a disability, tough, you're out of luck. You can't come on this trail. I think that's discrimination against that. So anyway, many of you have come up and said, yeah, you believe that would be the case as well. Others have said that you're not interested in getting, doctor's approval or getting a placard for it, whatever, because it's difficult to get that. It is difficult. They don't just hand that stuff out. You actually have to have a problem for your doctor to actually write you something. Now, we all know of people who skate the law a little bit and somehow they end up with one. But I mean, I've had a car placard probably over 10 years now. So it just, whenever it comes up for renewal, I just tell my doctor, yeah, nothing's changed. I still got the issues. He just writes me another one. I mean, but he knows too that, I had the knee replacement. He knows the history of it. So for guys like me, it's not, that's why I said, if you need me to go get, approval from your doctor, I'm fine with that. I can do it because I know I can get it. Okay. Others might be right on the edge and they maybe have never asked the doctor before for a placard or anything like that. Yeah, you might have some difficulties in getting it. You have to prove that you got an issue, right, before the doctor will write you something. So, some have said, you're not in favor of getting something like that. Okay, but if you're gonna say, okay, here's two options you have. You either get the placard, or you can't be on the trail. You're gonna have to try to get that placard, right, at that point. So there comes a time when you have to get it. Now, I know that there are people who say, I will never want to get one of those things. I don't want to be known as a guy that has a handicap. Sometimes it pays off. I'll tell you this. When we first got the handicap placard for me, not everybody in the family likes it when we park in the handicap parking space, okay? I think they've gotten used to it now. But I've always said that's the one benefit of having a disability. I get better parking spots, all right? That is a benefit, all right? I mean, between getting a better parking spot and being able to walk, I'd rather be able to walk. But since I can't, give me at least a better parking spot because I'm going to need it. Now, here's another thing too. Since we're on this whole topic, before we talk about e-bikes, let me finish this topic off. People have stopped me before saying, you don't seem to have a disability. Yeah, if you see me coming out of the car, most often you won't see that much problems. I'll seem perfectly fine. I'll walk pretty good. Coming out of the store after walking around in there for a while, you'll see me hobbling. I need that spot not to get into the store. I need that spot getting out of the store, you see. Because by that time I've been walking around, I go to Costco or whatever. You know how big those places are. It's a big warehouse. By the time I get back out, I need that spot because I need to stop walking, all right? So we don't need it when we get there. We need it when we get back because we've made effort of walking around, okay? But I've had people stop me. Yeah, I've had people literally, yell out of their cars and say, that's only used for handicapped people. And I'll hold up my placard. I mean, the placard is not always on the mirror. When I'm driving, I take that thing off. It blocks your view. And then I just put the placard on just as I get ready to get out of the car, okay? But people will yell at you, Okay, I understand they're trying to protect it for people who need the handicap. But sometimes I think they just yell at you because they think that you're just taking advantage, right? So, but yeah, I've even had people, ask me, what's your disability? That's a little too much, I think, I I mean, what do they want me to do? I could pull my leg, my pants leg up and show them the incision if they want to see that. They want to see the scars and everything like that. I can show them that. All right. The scar doesn't look so bad right now, but when I first had it, it was pretty bad. And I have photos of that too. You want me to show them that? You know, maybe next time somebody says that to me, I'll just pull out the photos. Here, take a look at this, all right, and see what they have to say. Yeah, that'll make them toss their cookies. Yeah, if you've ever seen an incision of anything and then they sew you up, you know, just so that you can get back to normal, it doesn't look good. Yeah, it looks terrible. I've always said it looks like a football with the laces. That's what it looks like. Okay, it's pretty bad. Anyways, now it's not so bad. Okay, and I mentioned too that I will eventually do an update on my knee replacement things, just so people who watch me, who are still part of the knee replacement, people who've been watching from the start, you can see where I'm at. So, but let me tell you this: everything is pretty good now. But again, you still hobble. Yeah, and really, I have a lot of issues now with my hips more so than my knees. So it's another story. All right, what about bikes? It was a long intro before we get to bikes. So anyway, yeah, the whole thing. Oh, gonna have to take this. Hold on. Try my best not to do it, but I find that I have to do it. All right, you know, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about other stuff here. You know, we've been talking about bikes, and today is a bike day, but I'm going to talk about something else too. I definitely feel my age. All right, people have said, "Oh, you don't look 60 something." You know, in another month, I'll be 65. So yeah, I already have my Medicare card. All right, it wasn't that hard to get. October 1st came around and I applied immediately. You know, the earliest you can do is like 3 months beforehand, right? So I applied, and by the end of October, I already got my card. So it doesn't take an effect until January, but I already got it. So it wasn't so difficult, but you do have to do some research for those who haven't quite hit the 65 yet. But yeah, you got to do a little bit of research, find out which parts you need. There's a part A, B, C, and D. It's kind of confusing. But yeah, I got what I needed, and it was done, and it was over with, right? So now the interesting thing is that, you know, on occasion, I still get people who comment on my video that's about the, you know, if you're 65 and you want an e-bike, remember that video? Yeah, they always mention that you don't look 60. I think at that time it was 61 when I made that video. Well, I'm going to be almost 65 now, okay? You know, I looked at that video and I look at myself today, and you can definitely see that I have gotten older. You can see it in my hair. My hair has gotten more gray than it was when I was at 61. Yeah, I looked a little thinner at 61, but I think I dropped even more weight after that too. So it's not specifically at that time I looked a certain thing, but I think I looked a little bit less as I went on, because I know right after the knee replacement was done, I bought the e-bike and stuff. I was still losing some weight after the surgery. I think at the surgery time I was about 250 in that range, and I think I dropped down to like 235, something like that. So I had gained it all back. Now when I went one more, hold on. When I got back up to 250, I says, well, okay, I'm back to where I was before the surgery. So I didn't feel so bad that I gained back the 15 pounds that I had lost during surgery. I mean, after you have the surgery, your appetite's not there. And, you know, you just don't feel like eating, really. So you're going to lose some weight because of that. Take a look at my music videos, all right? If you go to this playlist of the Russ is Right channel and you watch me performing some music covers of some of the songs from the 70s and 80s, okay? It's songs you're familiar with, okay? It's secular songs, it's not worship songs. So take a look at those videos and then look at what I look like, and you'll see that I was a lot thinner then. You'll also notice that my left knee, which had operation, is slightly bent because I didn't get perfect extension yet there. So I noticed these things because it's yourself, right? But yeah, take a look at my left leg, and you'll see it's slightly bent. It's not straight. And that was the best I could do. And most of my weight as I was standing doing those things, I was on my right leg, you know, most of the weight leaning on the right side. So, but I look at myself and I go, yeah, okay, you looked a certain thing. But when I gained back to 250, I says, okay, you're back to where you started before you had the knee replacement. But I've gone up since then. And like I said, I've gone up as high as like 268, 269. At least I'm back down to the 260 range, right? So got at least another 10 pounds to go just to get back to where I was before I had the surgery. All right, and that's been a while now. So I got the surgery 2019, just before the pandemic happened. Yeah, so yeah, was it 2019, 2018, 2019? Yeah, because I was going to physical therapy and I stopped doing physical therapy because of the pandemic. That's when everyone was like, you can't go back for a while. So yeah, yeah, it's been a while. So anyway, I digress. So anyway, that's basically all I wanted to talk about. Is really I just wanted to mention, some of the comments that people had said for the last video, and then also to give you an update on how I am doing health wise. It would be good if I dropped the weight before we start riding again in the spring season. Yeah, I think I can do it. I think I can do down to at least 250. So that's our goal. All right. So maybe by the time we actually get back out and start riding, I'd like to be down to at least 250. Oh, here's the one thing that I wanted to mention and I totally forgot about. It's because we were talking about weight. Is that I've noticed that the bike ratings are going up in the sense of weight capacity. And I think earlier on, one more time, bikes were rated to maybe 285 pounds. So I was really right at the edge of, a couple pounds more, 20-something pounds more, I would have been at the maximum limit of many of the bikes. Now I'm noticing many of the bikes are saying they're 400 pounds, 450 pound weight limits. Some of the bikes, I believe it. Like, for instance, the Himiway Zebra. Yeah, that bike can handle it. It's built like a tank. I've said that many times. It's built really strong. Other bikes, I see that they claim a little higher, and I'm going, can that bike really do it? I don't know. I think sometimes these ratings, hold on. These ratings are more conservative than they really need to be. And I think that's just to keep themselves from potential lawsuits in case something happens, if the guy's really heavy and something happens to the bike. So they can probably handle more, but they just tell you, 265, 285, whatever. Maybe you can do more. But if you are more and something happens, they're off the hook, right? Then on the other hand, some of these other companies, say 400 pounds, 450. If they're built like a tank, I believe it can do it. But others, I don't know. Take a look at construction, okay? Take a look at something like the Zebra, the Himiway Zebra, and then look at other bikes. If the other bike looks like it's more flimsy in terms of its construction, it claims 400, you have to kind of start wondering about that, right? You look at the Zebra or something, you go, wow, this thing is solid, okay? It can handle it. So, a lot of you guys too have told me, through the comments that you're higher. Some of you guys had said you're in the 300, 350 ranges. Okay. When you're heavy like me, I'm relatively heavy. I say, okay, he's 300, he's 350. I kind of say, okay, he's a little heavier. But others, I'm sure guys that are like 160, 180, and they look at 300 and they go, wow, that guy's really big, Everybody's a little different, okay? You got to be tolerant. Not everyone's the same body size, body weights. I'll tell you this, since I had my disabilities with my knee and everything, I am more tolerant about anyone who has any type of physical issue or mental issues or whatever like that. I accept it a lot more. When you haven't gone through it yourself, you're really quick to be able to say, hey, something's wrong with that guy, that other guy. He's bigger, he's got issues. Look at him, he can't even walk, Don't do that, okay? Be more tolerant of people, right? But I think I haven't noticed it as much until it happened to me. Yeah, until my weight went up, then you kind of like, that's not good. And then you have knee issues, hip issues. I could definitely feel my age. I can definitely feel it. So even my memory, you guys remember that my memory. You guys remember remember that I usually have some type of memory issue. Even when I'm talking, I can see a person's face in my brain, and I can't come up with the guy's name. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, 30 seconds later, the name just pops in. I don't know why that happens like that, but that's your age. That's issues that you're having, you know. So I see that. I see the physical problems I have and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm feeling my age. So when people say to me, hey, you don't look, you know, your age. Yeah, well, I feel it. I feel it. Okay. And this coughing thing too. Yeah. Everything hits me. I'm falling apart. If you ever meet me in person, I usually say that. Yeah, I'm just falling apart. Everything is just going on me. I don't know why. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Really nothing to do with the e-bikes, right? Yeah. I think it's sometimes you just have to kind of unload a little bit, kind of tell you where I'm at, you know, physically and mentally and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm just, you know, I can do better. You know, I can lose some more weight, would be much better, you know. But again, it's easier said than done. Okay. You know, people tell you, yeah, you just lose a little weight. You lose a little weight. You tell me if you could do it. Okay, most people can't do it. It's a lot tougher than you think. I think they say that if you can lose 2 pounds per week, you're doing pretty good. It's actually true. When I did my big weight loss, I've dropped 50 pounds at a time. I think I've done it 3 times in my lifetime. In the latter years, right? 3 times is a lot. You lose it, you gain it. It's really choices, right? Knowing for a fact you shouldn't eat that, or maybe you shouldn't eat as much of that. It's tougher to do than for people to say. Is what I'm saying. You know, if you tell people lose a little bit of weight, you don't think they know that. They already know that. You don't need to mention it to them. They already know, right? I think it takes a while for the person to, you know, put it in his mindset. Says, okay, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it. Nobody can do it because someone else tells them to do it. You got to do stuff based on yourself. You know, if you got to make that own commitment yourself, you have to realize it yourself and then make your own commitment to do it. That's when you do it. So anyway, I'm going to try to do it because I think it would be nice if I could hit 250 at least by springtime when we go back out. And if you're overweight, you can make that commitment yourself too. If you think you need to do it, do it. Okay. And then we can do it together. You know, you can post what your weight losses are and hopefully not what your weight gains are. Some people actually need to gain weight. I've seen some really skinny people. So, but they know it too. You know, they try. You know, I have a relative. Give you an example. He's super thin. Okay, the guy eats a ton of stuff. I think he eats more than I do sometimes. You know, when I see him at the restaurants and stuff. Guy never gains any weight. Some people, that's the way they are. Okay, I think he probably would want to gain some weight. And I don't think he can, you know. So everyone's built a little bit differently, right? For me, yeah, I can gain the weight pretty easy. Just got to be a little careful. So anyways, if you like this video, after all that, all this coughing and everything, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. We have another video coming out on Saturday. And, of course, on Monday, Anything Goes Monday, there will be a product review for this coming Monday. All right. Talk to you guys next time.